Hello guys, welcome to a new video of Fischer series. Today we look at round number 4 of the candidate tournament of 1959. It's Fischer against Svetozar Gligorić, another top Soviet grandmaster, and in this game we see Gligorić castling into Fischer's trap, an amazing rook sacrifice, and it's a really nice game to analyze. Till now Fischer's had 1.5 point out of 3. He's doing decently, and leading the pack is Tigran Petrosian with 2.5 out of 3. The winner will play the reigning world champion Michal Botvinnik, so it's a really prestigious tournament. Fischer has the white pieces, and he starts with e4. Now we have c5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight f6, knight c3, and d6. So this is very standard, and by bringing the knight out early, it's actually called the old classical way of playing the Sicilian. And now Fischer can play bishop c4, bishop g5, or f3. Those moves are the main lines here. And Fischer really loved this bishop c4 idea. It's actually named after him, the Fischer-Sozin attack. And after bishop to d7, he brings back the bishop immediately to b3. Well, why would he play that? Are we not advised to not move one piece twice in the opening? Well, in this opening, it's very standard to just go for this kingside attack, castle long, and black will go for the queenside attack. And by playing a6, b5, we would kick the bishop away. So it's basically a prophylactic move to not have white gain another tempo. So it's a really useful move. And now Gligorić goes for g6, which is some kind of dragon setup. He wants to bring out the bishop and castle. But you are weakening those dark squares around the king. And it's a very simple idea how you should play against the dragon. f3, bishop out, queen to d2, castle long, and just go for g4, h4, and just march those pawns towards the king side. So after g6, Fischer goes for f3. And why would you play f3? Well, after a6, b5, b4, kicking away this knight, knight has to go to e2. Now the e4 pawn is defended. So it's a really useful move to play f3. And now Gligorić goes for knight a5, which is an interesting move. And Fischer actually says that releasing the central tension this way is wrong. Correct is knight takes, queen takes, and bishop to g7. And then Fischer would play something like bishop to g4, g5, castles, and the game would go on. But okay, Gligorić probably has a plan with knight to a5. After knight to a5, Fischer goes bishop to g5, bishop g7, and queen to d2. So you can see his plan coming in, castling long and just marching those pawns. Now h6, kicking away the bishop. So the bishop moved twice now, back to e3, and rook to c8. So those moves are very standard outside of this knight a5 move. But after long castles, Gligorić goes for knight to c4. So his idea was to rotate the knight like this and then attack the dark squared bishop. Because often, what Fischer also says in the book, is that the dark squared bishop is considered to be more important in this position. So you can see that those dark squares are really nice to get into. But Fischer here plays an interesting move. The normal good procedure is to play bishop takes, rook takes, and then go for g4. This is the normal way how you should approach this. But Fischer actually plays queen to e2. And I mean, it's an interesting move because after knight takes, you just lost your dark squared bishop. Bronstein was so impressed with this concept that he enthusiastically gave my 13th move a double exclamation mark, claiming it was virtually the winning line. Alexander Kotov, the Commissar of Chess Criticism of the Soviet Union, said it is difficult to agree with this. And I mean, it's not so clear how this can be the winning move, right? Okay, we're giving away the dark squared bishop. Fischer prefers to keep the light squared bishop here. And later on in the game, we will see that it will play a major role in the attack. Okay, now we have castles, because now this pawn is not attacked twice. So we can simply castle, right? And now Fischer goes for attack, g4. And he actually says that playing h4 is not so good, because then black would play h5 and shut your attack down. But the engine nowadays actually says that you can play g4, because after h takes, we don't take back, because then simply bishop takes, but we actually play h5. So we gave away one pawn and we gave away another pawn. After knight takes, we have knight to f5. I mean, that's a really engine-like move. It's really crazy, because you cannot take back with the pawn. Then we play rook takes knight, and you can see this pressure coming in. And after bishop takes, pawn takes, still okay, we're 2 pawns down, but look at this pressure. The bishop is looking towards the king. The pawns are attacking the king side, and you don't really have an attack here. Our king is very safe. So this position more than compensates for the lost 2 pawns. Okay. But Fischer plays g4, a very normal move. And now Gligorić is, well, he doesn't really have an attack going on here. He really needs to do something to activate his pieces and attack our king side. So Gligorić plays queen to a5. Now Fischer goes h4, e6 to limit the scope of the light squared bishop. And now knight d to e2. And here Gligorić plays an interesting move. He plays rook to c6. But that's actually not a really good move, because the idea of Fischer here is to push those pawns and break through. Well, how can we prevent that? We can either go knight to e8 or play h5. Because after h5 and g5, we simply move away the knight. But by not moving either of those pieces, with g5, you have to take back or you're losing the knight. So, okay, after knight d to e2, Gligorić plays rook to c6, and now Fischer just plays g5. And okay, you can maybe move the knight back, but then we have g takes h6, and that's even worse. So you have to take, and after takes, knight to h5 looks like it holds everything, right? We're still defending well, nothing going on here. Knight to h5. Now Fischer plays f4, rook f to c8, since this rook was not doing anything, and we're slowly bringing the pieces to the queen side. And now Fischer plays a really nice move. I mean, here you cannot go for f5 immediately, because after e takes, and you try to come in here with this fork, we actually have an amazing move. Queen takes a2. And after bishop takes, we have rook takes, rook to b1, rook takes again because it's defended, king to a1, and after moving the rook to e2, we have a discovered attack, and you're losing your queen, and the position is just falling apart. So we cannot move f5 yet. We have to play king to b1 to defend this a2 square. So Fischer plays king to b1, a really nice move. And after king to b1, now Gligorić plays queen to b6, since his attack is not really doing anything here, and he wants to go for a queen trade. But Fischer doesn't want that. He plays queen to f3. Now rook to c5, which is an interesting move, because after rook to c5, Fischer plays queen to d3. Now this pawn is attacked twice. And this is a critical position during the game, because, okay, your attack is not really doing anything here with the rooks. Your bishop is a critical defender of the dark squares, and your knight's also on the rim, but it needs to defend this h-file, otherwise the rook's coming in. So what can you do here? Well, the most logical move should be to push your pawns here. So a5, queen to a6 or queen to c7, and then push b5 and just go for this march of the pawns. But Gligorić here plays bishop takes c3, which is an interesting move, because after bishop takes c3, we have knight takes c3, and the purpose of bishop takes of Gligorić was to take this pawn. And actually, in the book, several Yugoslav chess journalists scurried forward towards the analysis room where Matanovic was explaining the game on a demonstration board. Apparently, the feeling was that I had just blundered. So, people during that time actually thought that after knight takes, it was a blunder from Fischer, just giving away this pawn for free. But this is actually Fischer's plan. He wants to open off this F line. He wants Gligorić to get away of this bishop. And it more than compensates for the lost pawn, because after queen to f3, knight back to h5, Fischer here plays a move which is a really nice move. He actually says in the book that I played this sacrifice so often that I feel like applying for a patent, which is really funny because he obviously loves this move, which is rook takes h5. And after g takes h5, queen takes h5, we're actually -2, but the rook will come in. The bishop has this really nice pressure. We will push g6, and you just gave away your bishop and you gave away your knight just for 1 pawn more. So after queen takes h5, Gligorić is in a lot of problem. All his pieces are on the queen side and the attack is not even there. So he tries to bring back the bishop to e8. Fischer plays a really nice move, which is queen to h6, because with queen to h6, you don't want the king to run away. So the king is trapped here now. It cannot run away. After queen to h6, Gligorić plays a desperate move. Rook takes c3, pawn takes c3, rook takes c3. But after g6, f takes g6, and rook to h1, what do you have here? You have nothing, because okay, Gligorić tries to go into those dark squares, but it's actually a lost position. After queen takes or queen h7 check, Gligorić resigned the game. Well, why did he resign? After king to f8, we have rook f1 check, and you have to defend with either one of those pieces. And it's just mate in free, because after rook to f3, rook takes, queen to f6, rook takes, bishop to f7, and queen takes f7, checkmate. I mean, this was a really nice demonstration how you should play against the Sicilian dragon, and often it's a really nice move to sacrifice your rook against the knight. It was a really nice game. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and if so, like, subscribe, or comment, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.